Essentially what Wolf's Candies is a manufacturer of high-end boxed chocolates. So a very kind of unique business. In other words, we're not like a candy shop in a mall. It's more of a manufacturing business. Take sugar and corn syrup and milk and turn it into confections.
From scratch. And our recipes that we use are old world methods. So we use copper kettles, maple paddles, and these are the recipes that really are the large value of purchasing the business were these recipes.
The candy shop was over 60 years old, so it was what we would call a going concern. It already had subscribers, for the lack of a better term, customers. It already had customers. It already had cash flow. We knew what the revenues looked like. We knew what the profitability was. So buying a going concern is nowhere near as entrepreneurial, I don't think, as a startup entrepreneur. If you want to go out and start a candy factory, you want to go out and start a print shop or whatever it is whatever businesses you want to jump into. We've done both, but it's far more secure, far easier, and very less risk to buy a going concern. So we didn't have to guess whether or not the candy shop was going to be successful. We basically knew exactly what the candy shop was going to do. We knew what the market wanted because the candy shop had been around for a long time and had been doing the business that it was doing. One of the big concerns was what's going to happen during a transition. People hate change. Nobody likes change. And change in management in a small business is widely recognized. Whereas in a large business, you can change the CEO and nobody knows who the heck the CEO of Coca-Cola is. You have no idea. So you buy Coke and everybody buys Coca-Cola and nothing changes. But in a small business, when you change the management, obviously it's going to be significant because people hate change and they're going to be well aware that, hey, that's not the guy making the donuts anymore, or that's not the guy making the candy anymore. It was pretty amusing. We got some hostile letters from people about
we changed something.
You changed something, and it was almost amusing. When we make chocolates, because it's a small little candy factory, we're not really driven by the price of sugar or can we save 30 cents on a gallon of milk. It's more, what's the absolute best sugar you can buy? What's the absolute fattiest milk you can buy? We want to buy the absolute premium products so we can make the best possible product for the customer that we can, because our whole philosophy is we don't want to sell you a box of chocolates. I want to sell you chocolates for the rest of your life. There is competition. There was McCord's,
Candies,
and then not too long after McCord's, we've seen a couple Dan's, now Kathy's. So there's always been a couple of little candy shops that popped up, and we're talking about the market like Lafayette. And again, go back to the last answer. We set ourselves apart that we're extremely consistent. We're not going to change it, and because of our consistency and our ability to be consistent, we get that loyalty, we get that customer, because every time they get the same experience, if they like it, they're coming back.
Yeah. Well, studying our database of customers, and so I know, like, for example, one of the techniques we looked at is we discovered that there, for Christmas gift giving, there's some specific industries that really enjoy giving out chocolates for Christmas gifts, and so we tackled that industry and made sure that each big player in that industry was aware of our chocolates. We sent them a box of chocolates, and that cultivated into some pretty large accounts actually for us at Christmas time.
Yeah, so we looked at the businesses in our region that would be typically gift givers and went after them. We sold another business, and it was a startup business. So we were consciously looking to buy a going concern. So we made a conscious effort to look for an opportunity that there was a going concern.
We had a budget of exactly how much we could pay for our business.
Yeah. And so we looked in that realm, and what kind of return would we get on our investment, and we landed on the candy shop. Coming from our business experience, we realized that we should do something to enhance the opportunity to get another customer through our customers, through the existing customers. So we started using inserts. We didn't have a mailing cost. It was pretty inexpensive, so we put inserts in the boxes to let people know that you could call and order online. And we did a website, let them know that they did a website.
800 number, which we eventually just that's just printed on all our boxes. So things like that the Wolves didn't do, we did. They always kind of wanted their box to look more elegant, but just never made that leap to change their box style. And that was actually Myrna who kept saying, I've always envisioned the boxes to be gold. And so we eventually switched over to a gold and black box. Actually, it looks really nice.
Typically, your biggest roadblocks are going to be people. I mean, in almost every business plan, you write a business plan, you look at the business plan, you tweak the business plan, you sell to investors or yourself or your family or your employees or the bank, whoever it is. You sell everybody on the business plan. The whole concept comes together. You have the initial startup. You have your location. You start your business. And what the biggest problem is, always and every time will always be, is people. You inject people into the formula, and people are unique. And every one of them is unique. And every one of them has some unique issue. When I became an entrepreneur, the reason I became an entrepreneur is because nobody was going to hire me to be the job that I wanted. So I had to create my own job, and so I did.
But in buying this business, we were looking for a big change, and we wanted to move back to the Midwest. We had like a 10-point criteria of what we were looking for in a business to purchase, and we looked at many different businesses, and we kept coming back to this business because one, it financially made sense. Two, it was in the Midwest. Three, it looked like the lifestyle that we wanted to live, a place to raise our children.
Great golf course.
Great golf course, yeah. There was a criteria we had.
My advice would just be job shadow entrepreneurs, talk to entrepreneurs.
Research the industry well.
Research. If you want to be an entrepreneur, don't be a restaurant entrepreneur. It's the best way to make $1 million in a restaurant is to start with 3. And you might have 1 left when you're done, if you're lucky. No, but don't write yourself a love story. It's not a love story. What happened to Bill Gates or Steve Jobs and the Wozniak? Those are beautiful, beautiful things that happened to them, and they made lots and lots of money. But it's extremely rare, and they were very fortunate. They took a lot of people for a ride. A lot of people went with them. So it wasn't just them by themselves. Odd stories. Those are odd stories. The typical entrepreneur, doesn't go make $1 billion. But it's probably the most financially rewarding job you can have. So if you have the stomach for it, and you have the tenacity to not lose. And
you're at a point in your life you're not risking your family.
Yeah, or your marriage, that kind of stuff. If you can do it and you can do it right, there's not a better job in the world.